guys.
California grow, yeah, yeah. California grow. Me and the boys doing all we know. Yeah, there's nothing quite like this place that I call home. California grow, yeah, yeah. California grow.
Mound. All right, you are watching and listening to 93Q, and this is Rough Notes and Casual Thoughts, the radio version.
Radio version.
Not to be confused with the paper version, which is the Appeal Democrat. And we have Scott Anderson, who is not only the editor of the Appeal, but he actually likes reading stuff that's written on paper. Remember
Absolutely.
those days, right? It's like
Including books.
including books. He actually, although I'm not sure he liked the one with Holden Caulfield in it.
I don't, actually. Not a Salinger fan, actually. He's kind of a creep.
Yeah, exactly. And then we have Janice White with us today, who you're going to have to explain to me. I know that you did music, and Cassidy tried to enlighten me, but when did that happen? Because you came right out of here, right? Yuba City, Marysville.
Yes.
And then ended up in country music, right, with your sister. All right, go ahead, tell a little of the story. We'll just jump into that.
Well, I have 3 other sisters, and we had a quartet.
No.
Back in the 70s, early 70s, we recorded our first album in 72 or 73. We did 4 gospel albums. We traveled 6 weeks at a time on tour and sang across the churches, as far as from here all the way down to Southern California, across the states to Memphis. And then we put a secular band together, and we called it Leon White Band. And then we ended up putting a band together called Satin Steel, and we did that, played bars and clubs and private parties around here. I had started writing songs when I was 13, and so then Janie and I started writing songs together around 85, 86, and then we decided that we wanted to pursue music seriously. And so we disbanded the band, and we just focused on writing, and we joined a songwriters club in the Bay Area, and then we traveled back and forth several times a month, and we met with producers and publishers and record industry people, pitched our songs. We had 16 of our songs picked up that year, and we got invited to Nashville by Ronnie Millsap's producer, Glenn Campbell's publishing partner and manager, Marty Gamblin, and we had several songs picked up in the L.A. area, so we decided to go to Nashville, and we went to Nashville in January of 1988, and we spent 6 weeks the first time, and ended up landing on a TV show, You Can Be a Star. We ended up being staff writers for Millsap Music for several months. Rob Galbraith produced us in the studio with some of Ronnie Millsap's leftover time to record some of the songs we wrote. He thought they were great, and so that's pretty much how it started, and we just kept knocking on doors, and we had lots of publishers wanting to sign our songs, and we realized we needed to keep some of our songs in order to negotiate for a record deal, because they were signing artists who could write their own songs. So we knew that became a bargaining chip. So then,
now, I don't want to interrupt, but when you say we, you just mean you
oh,
and Janie.
then
so
just
not
Janie.
the rest of it.
That's right.
I got it. Okay,
that's
go
right.
ahead.
Yes,
Go ahead.
yes.
Yeah.
Joetta and Barbara, they fell in love and met their husbands, and that's what they just.
And then there goes the band.
And there goes the band. I know. I cried for days. But no, they're extremely happy with the. It wasn't their passion, but it was mine and Janie's, and so that's what we did. And then we ended up on Curb Records, and we had, lots of. We met. We got to go to Mae Axton's house for dinner. We met Jackie Guthrie, Arlo's wife, and then she called a week later and said, "Hey, you guys, will you come over? Hoyt's going to be in town." Hoyt Axton, he wrote The Pusher, Never Been to Spain, Joy to the World. Just the places and people that music took us was just phenomenal. It was just amazing. So
how old were you guys when you went to Nashville?
well, that was
Or, you're
in
never
19
supposed to ask a woman her age. So
I
I'm
know.
being careful
Well,
with
I'm
it.
101, and I look pretty darn good for it. So, you know what? I don't remember what age we were in 1988, but I remember that I was in my early 30s and Janie was in her late 20s when we got our record deal.
Okay. So yeah,
If
still,
that
still
answers
pretty
your
young. Yeah,
question.
because I was just wondering, because at one point you had to go, look, we're serious, we're going to do this, we think we can write, and then of course you end up, Nashville is like the hub. Some people think it's L.A. I think that's passe, to be honest. I don't think L.A. pulls as much as Nashville does. And the music industry changes constantly. And so you guys got in, like you said, it's like the publishers were like, hey, we'll just buy everything. And you guys are like, I think we'd like to
and
actually
they don't really
play.
buy everything. You sign them because
Yeah.
you're signing. Publishing is the licensing part of a song.
Yeah.
We still retain 100% of the songwriter's rights. But actually, when we went there in '88, the reason we chose Nashville, we were getting songs picked up by producers and publishers in L.A., New York, and in Nashville. And the reason we went to Nashville was because at that time, Nashville was still using real musicians playing real instruments and recording in the studio, whereas LA was going through this thing of MIDI and pre-programmed stuff, and that's all fine and it's still valid now, but I had a passion for just real musicians playing real instruments. And of course, when we got there, it was amazing because by the time we got the record deal in 1990, what we found out was a lot of musicians from LA had the same exact idea and started relocating. So on our album, on our Country Curb album, J.J. White, self-titled Janice and Janie, the record company did all that. Larry Byram from Steppenwolf played on some of our songs. And not only that, and some of the studio musicians from L.A., Brent Rowan, I could name a whole
You guys
host
should
of
have
them.
covered Born to Be Wild.
You know what? We thought
your version of
we
Born
thought
to Be
we thought when we had Satin Steel, I wanted to learn that song, but we never did. But I thought it was great, and so to end up meeting Larry and hanging out with him and him playing on our album, that was pretty cool. That was really pretty cool.
So, as you look back at that time, because there's so many memories that we make during the course of our life that stick with us. And so if you had to think of a particular memory of you and Janie, like studio memory, where it's just you two, you've been walking through stuff, what would be one of your fondest memories of that time?
See, I can't say that there's one. There's a multitude.
I believe that.
Just incredible a number of people and places. But I will tell you one about because just a couple of months ago I got a phone call that one of our songs from that album called Love Is Back in Style that we co-wrote got picked up for an independent film a couple of months ago. So it brought up the memory of Larry Byram played on that song. And we're in the studio. We would start out with, we would be in the big studio. I'd play my guitar. We'd sing through it. They would chart it out. We'd maybe sing through it a couple times. They'd chart it out. Everybody goes to their places. The drummer went in the drummer booth. We went in the vocal booth because we would sing live while they were cutting their parts so that they could, base it around the vocals. And then Larry Byram and the bass player played in the big room. Well, we start kicking it off, and it's going great, and James Stroud, our producer, he pushes the button. He goes, "Y'all, we're making a country album here," because the musicians were just rocking it out. So we all laughed. We're going, no, and the musicians are cracking up. And then we had to start it over and calm it down a little bit. And it's still we still had radio stations going, man, y'all's guitars are a little bit loud.
All right, pull John in. John Cassidy wants to get on, and so go ahead, pop him up. Hold on. This is what happens to Scottish people. No bagpipes, so he's got to mess with the electronic, you know. All right.
Hey, John. Hey, you want to go on the air?
We take professionalism
Okay,
to a
I-
whole
they're all
level.
with
I
you.
love it.
It's
So I'm
called
gonna put you on right
real
now, okay?
life.
That's right. That's right. Things happen.
All right, John, you there?
Yeah, Bob, I was just calling to see if Janice could play Freebird this morning.
Yeah. Well, right after she does Born to Be Wild, right?
Yeah, I heard the Born to Be Wild story before, and Janice, you're looking great.
Thank
You're
you.
sounding even better. I don't know what you're doing sitting with those two guys, but thanks for all you've done musically
We
for
paid her.
this region. You're amazing.
Well, thank you, and I'll give you $20 for that.
No, not necessary. No.
But thank you, John.
You're something special, and you've done some amazing things. And
Thank
in the
you.
music world, it's kind of funny. I was talking to Corey Lirios from Pablo Cruz the other day, and I remember when Dave Jenkins worked on. I
Yes.
think it was Scratchers on Their Knees, right? He was on. I think
Yes.
he might have been on that.
He did.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
he
then-
did 4 or 5 songs on the Scratches on Her Knees album.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
came
it was good.
after the country album. Yes.
Yeah, one of the best guitarists of all time.
Oh,
right
great
next to
guy.
you.
Great guy.
Right next to you. Yeah.
Thank you.
So, well, yeah. Well, you're sounding good. You're looking good. We got to get you out playing again, though. That's for sure.
Yeah, you know.
I tried, Bob. I tried.
I know, I get it.
I mean, it's, you know, I'm flattered by that, and thank you. And I appear once in a while. I did helped with the fundraiser November 1st for the Sutter Theater. Had a couple of a married couple from Thorcat, a local band, which they're really good.
Oh,
if you
yeah,
hear
yeah.
about them playing, you guys should go hear them. I think they're great.
Yeah, they're good.
And we got together. They were kind enough to learn 3 of the songs that Janie and I had written, and so we worked those up. I think we did 5 songs that night. But I loved it because we did 3-part harmony, and that's one of the things that I really miss about singing with all of my sisters. Was the 3-part harmony.
And it's very
Amazing.
unique when family voices come together. There's a unique sound that comes out of that. Sisters is just amazing. My mom sang back when it was called hillbilly music.
Oh, yeah, I love hillbilly
She
music.
sang on radio. She actually sang with the Sons of the Pioneers, and so that was her groove back then, right? And but her and her sister Evelyn would sing together. They could yodel. Nobody yodels
nice.
anymore. I actually like yodeling, but yeah, the voices blend. Sisters it's an amazing thing. I don't know if it's just natural or
It's like the Osmonds. It's like
Yeah.
the Jacksons. It's the Carpenters. Oh my gosh, I know it's the tonality. I don't know what it is, but everybody always made comments about that and good, nice compliments. And talking about yodeling, we played in Switzerland, and we were up in the Alps, and we were walking around and went in this little shop, and there was this sweet little old lady. I'll bet you anything she was probably, I think they told us she was like in her early 90s, and she was out in the patio outside this little shop, and she started yodeling, and tears rolled down my eyes. I thought that was just a blessing to hear her do that, and so that was pretty cool. So thanks for bringing up that memory. I told you, once you start getting me talking about music and all the experiences that we had, it'll be hard to shut me up. It'll be
Well,
impossible.
Janice, I'm gonna close with this. Your video, your country music video, "The Crush," was a huge success, and that was off the J.J. White album. And I still have it on my Apple Music. J.J. White and then Scratches on Her Knees. And you and Janie were just amazing. But have a great time with the guys, and thanks for coming on the show.
Hey, thanks for having me on the show, John, and good talking to you. And thank you for all that you do for music, too.
Oh, you rock. See ya. Take care.
Take care.
you know, you gotta love that guy because God makes you love him. No, I'm just kidding.
It's the law.
It's the law. No, I appreciate John. And actually, John had talked about the music in our area, to me, is pretty unique. Chuck Smith coined the phrase, "You can make it from here." And whether it's sports or whatever, but even in music, and that's why John had talked about you. He said, listen, they were from here. They made it from here, and it is possible. And then, of course, he has the event every year, and he has Tyler Rich, who was here, who was not country when he got his record deal. I forget what he said he was playing, rock and roll of some sort, But yeah, it is feasible, and I don't know how many young musicians that you run into. You mentioned Thorcat, and there's others out there that you're able to say to them, "Look, don't give up. It is possible. It is possible. Don't listen to the gainsayers." Right?
No, they're always going to be out there, and you just have to believe in yourself and believe in the gift that you've been given. It's a God-given gift, and so I've tried to share it, and our family tried to share it, and you just no matter how old you are, music is a universal language, and it is something that can bring everybody together. Even when we played overseas. When there was French German and Swiss German and all kinds of different dialects, they still showed up at all these auditoriums and filled the place up and just danced and sang to our songs, and yet they didn't understand English. But music is a universal language, and it can bring us all together, and it can hold us together even within different views. And that's the beauty. That's the beauty of being a human being. Is we can. If we were all alike, it would be so boring. But we all have different views. We're all entitled to those views, and we all must respect each other.
Yeah. So I have to ask, because everybody that's ever written a song that I watch these interviews, and they'll say, "Well, okay, it was my number one hit, and I wrote it in 3 minutes on the back of a napkin." Did you and Janie have any of those?
We had a song that's on the country album called "The Sweetest Love." We got together for a writing session, and this is usually how it would happen. I would go, "Janie, listen to this," and in fact, I played guitar on that. That's the only song I played on the country album because they had studio musicians that were just phenomenal.
Yeah.
But anyway, I had written that melody on the guitar, and so I sat down and go, "Janie, listen to this." And I started playing it, and then she sang a line, and then I sang a line, she sang a line, and we wrote that song in about 30 minutes called The Sweetest Love.
Isn't that amazing?
That was one of Dick Whitehouse's favorite songs. He's the one from the record company who found us and signed us.
So, are you still writing?
I am.
And so, if I ask
I can't. It won't leave me alone. I wrote my first song when I was 13. I got my first guitar when I was 12, and I didn't write. I didn't play my guitar for about 3 years after Janie passed, and then finally, I realized that was part of the healing.
Yeah, I believe that. I believe that because you guys didn't expect that. Life, sometimes things happen. You can't. You don't get to. Yeah, you don't get to choose.
No.
I remember sitting in the doctor's office because I was a pastor, and so I've had a lot of people come and say, "Hey, I had cancer." But when you're the guy sitting there and he says, "Fish, you got cancer on your vocal cords," everything I do is talking. I mean, my whole world just went, "What?"
Oh my gosh.
And so you don't get to dictate to life, right? But you do get to live it, and you do get to live past situations. How much did you feel like Janie would have wanted you to go on? That kind of because you were writing together, that she would want you to continue to write.
Oh, I have no doubt. I have no doubt that she would have wanted me to keep going. And same thing if the roles had been reversed.
Mm-hmm.
And that was part of the pain for me, was I thought that should have been me instead of her.
Yeah.
But it's not how it worked out. But no, I think she would be. I think she's still watching over me, and watching over the family. I think it's okay. What we had planned to do is, once we had our day in the sun, we had hoped we'd get a few hit songs and have our day in the sun, and then Janie wanted to go on into acting in L.A., and I wanted to do producing other artists and find songs, write songs for them. and find other artists and take them in the studio and produce them. That was what I wanted to do.
That-
That was how we kind of had our framework of how we wanted to do it, because we knew you know the longevity of artists is used to be a lot easier back in the old days, but that's not always how it's going to work out. And so we were realistic, knowing that we would have our day in the sun if we given the opportunity. And it's so funny now to look back on it now, because I remember we would talk incessantly in the hotel room, and we'd go, man, but we don't want to be a one-hit wonder. And now I'm sitting here going, man, I wish we'd have been a one-hit wonder. And I think she would probably say that too. So.
I always think that's a weird thing. A one-hit wonder. It's a hit. Are you
and
kidding
a wonder.
me? And a wonder.
It's a
right?
wonder. But DJs still call it that. And so,
Like there's something wrong with you if you only got
I
one
know.
hit. Do you know how many people never get a hit? I mean, I have a friend. He lived in Nashville
true.
and did music for a while. He's a local guy and he still plays and he's very good. But he said, Fish, if you go to Nashville, that you'll walk through just like downtown, right? You'll walk through and there's bands, it'll blow your mind how great they are, and they're just playing in a bar, right? Wanting to make it. But he said there are just so many. Well, there was an old 60s song, and I want to say it was by the Rascals, but I can't remember for sure. Anyway, he goes, there's 1,450 guitar pickers in Nashville, and every one of them can pick the guitar better than I will. And that was a line in there, and I thought, yeah, you got to realize, so if you get any traction and get far, you got to be grateful.
oh, we were grateful. We were
Yeah.
grateful for the success that we had, because we did. We found and ran across incredible musicians, incredible singers. But here's what you have to know about the music business. It is all about the song. The beginning, the middle, and the end. It is all about the song. Not necessarily whether you have a good voice or not. It's all about the song. You can turn the radio and hear terrible singers, forgive me, but they have great songs, and that's why they made hits. And so it's all about the song. In Nashville, that was one of the attractions, was that it was about the importance of the song.
I've been told that more than once, that now that they can find anybody to do your song, right? They can get great musicians to do it. It's about the songwriting.
It's always been that way.
And I recognize that because I'm involved in music and everywhere, and I recognize not every song hits everybody, but you
Right.
don't have to hit everybody. I think about the Grateful Dead. The Deadheads followed them everywhere.
Yes.
It's like I listen to their music, and they got a couple songs I like, but it wouldn't be not
Right.
my favorite, but it was those people's favorites. And that, I think, is such a key to recognizing you write a good song. I have a thing, I play 8 decades of music here, and my thought is, good song's a good song.
Yes.
Little Eva did Locomotion, and it was a #1 hit. Grand Funk redid it in the 70s. It was a #1 hit. Kylie Minogue did it. That song has
You know
been...
who wrote that?
No, I don't.
Co-wrote it?
Carole King?
Carole King. She
That's Carole King.
finally, just recently in the last 2 or 3 years,
Wow, I didn't know
finally got the accolades that she has long
Oh,
overdue deserved.
My
She
favorite.
was writing for other people for a long time,
Yeah,
right?
she wrote.
With the Bree
She
Building.
wrote Monkeys,
Yeah.
Pleasant Valley Sunday,
Yeah.
so, along with. You can tell my age, man. I have these brain fade moments. One thing, the audience always has their own taste of what they react to and what they like and what they don't like and what they like best. Wind Beneath My Wings, that song was recorded 9 times before Bette Midler finally made it a hit when it was in the movie. So it just shows you. And I'm sure there's some of it that has to do with marketing, but even the songs that had the best marketing and made all of the radio stations and stuff, it still comes down to what the audience reacts to.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a ton of songs that if you were to check into the history, that were recorded many times, but maybe only one artist actually lucked out and made it a hit.
Leonard Cohen's Hallelujah almost
Oh,
25 to 30 years before it became a hit.
Yeah.
It was multiple people recorded it
a good
before it
point.
finally resonated. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And now it's a classic.
Yeah.
Everybody, from orchestras to opera singers to just regular rock and roll people. Yes.
Yeah, it's amazing. When
It
you
comes
think
down
about-
to the song.
Yeah, yeah. You know, I had an opportunity to talk to John Elefante, and it was a deal. So he's Italian, so he was going to critique a song I wrote, and so but because he's Italian, we spent about 4 hours on the phone talking
about
Italian mothers and the whole thing. But he,
That was one of my favorite countries to visit when we
Italy?
were touring. Oh, we loved Italy. Oh, we loved Italy. I know the people wanted our tourist money, but that's okay. They were friendly about it, so that was fine with us.
But he said to me, he said the same thing you just said. He said it's really about the song, and then everybody will interpret it different. He said if you're a songwriter, you may hear something when you write it, but if you have somebody else do it, they may hear something different in that song, but it's still the song.
That's right. And the writer writes a line that has meaning to that writer.
Mm-hmm.
But when the listener listens to it, it might have a different meaning, and that's okay. That's part of the beauty
Yeah.
of it.
Unless you're Bob Dylan, and nobody ever knew the meaning, not even Bob.
Although I love that movie. Oh my gosh,
Oh,
I
that
love
was a
that
great
That
movie,
was a
wasn't it?
great movie.
I was like, oh, yeah.
Oh, great movie. I mean, it was great to hear that history. And of course, I was a kid during that time, so I didn't realize that there was the friction between the rock and roll starting to take over from the folk music, because we were young enough where we sang some of those Bob Dylan songs, folk music stuff, as you know, before we started doing our gospel stuff. We kind of mixed it in. So, yeah, it's and then you listen to some of the words from the 60s and 70s, you go, what? But the melody's great, and that's what you hold on to, and that's what you remember. And then there are some great songs that have just incredible stories, and they have great meaning, and they can still be interpreted with great meaning from different listeners. And that's part of the magical beauty of the language of music.
It was, Bob Dylan's passé, and he was a 60s guy. Really? Tell the traveling Wilburys that.
Yeah.
It's like
Good point.
They pull him back and write these great songs with Jeff Lynne, Roy Orbison, and Tom Petty. And I'm like, you guys, I can't even believe that happened. But great
Was George
songs.
Harrison part of that
Yeah,
too?
yeah. Great music. It's like, yeah. So if you could say anything to the community that has supported you, the people that have supported you over the years, what would you say to them, Janet?
Oh, I would say just thank you so much. It was incredible, because part of the things that the record company noticed, and they've had other artists that didn't have their hometown behind them, but we did, and the record company noticed that, and they said things to us, and so we were very grateful to that, and we thank you for that. We did our part in trying to give back by playing a lot of fundraisers and things in different events and stuff. That was we were taught to give back, and that's what we did. But part of it too was to show our gratitude and thankfulness to our hometown. So thank you very much. I will spend the rest of my life thanking you.
You know, nobody writes a song and then just sings it to them. Well, maybe people do, and have it mean anything. But I love that movie, that thing you do, where the first time they hear themselves on the radio. And so, what was it like first time you heard your song?
I
on
can
the
tell
radio?
you exactly where I was. I can tell you exactly. Now we had heard our gospel albums, some of those songs on a small little radio station back in the 70s, but that didn't compare to I'm on Highway 20 at the stoplight at Plymouth Street and Highway 20, getting ready to go over the bridge, going over to Janie's. We're going to write. We're home for a few weeks. Have a Little Faith has been released. And that was our first cut the first single on the album. And I'm at the radio station, and all of a sudden it comes on. Oh my gosh, I'm bawling like a baby, trying to get through my tears to get to Janie's house and not get in a wreck. And that was, I walked on air for probably 3 weeks. And I got there, and Janie goes, I was listening to it too. We had a big old cry. It was just incredible, and it never got old. And so we thanked KUBA for always supporting us. Bob Harlan, just, he was great. And so were a couple of other radio stations at that time, and please forgive me, I can't remember. We used to do radio tours 6 weeks at a time, and we would hit anywhere from 58 to 60 radio stations during that 6 weeks. Yeah, we did. We would do on air. We were one of the artists that were unique in a way. They told us this, that we were unique in a way that they could play a cut off the album, but then they could also, I'd have my guitar and we would sing live on the air, just guitar vocals, and the phones would light up, and it was great. It was like, man, this is just a beautiful thing.
There is something about the returning of authenticity to music. There's a pull. And I'm not afraid of AI. I mean, I had to use it because of the cancer on my vocal cords. And so I'm not opposed to it, and especially if you're writing music, you're like, well, somebody else is going to do it and they're going to sound like me anyway, right? And so, but there is something about going and hearing somebody sing live and play guitar live. That there will never be a place where live is not acceptable.
I agree. I used to love practices more than playing the gig, because the live music of the band and working out the little kinks and stuff, but just the live music just would go through you. It would literally just go through my bones. And yeah, playing live, I don't think there's ever going to be. And as far as the AI, I have mixed reviews, because it's pieces and parts of all of us musicians. Mm-hmm. And I don't know that I need to tell my full opinion because I'm still evolving with it, but I'm not sure I appreciate it yet, because I have the ability to write and play, and I play different instruments, and I have a recording little studio at home, and I can do all of that stuff, but I realize not everybody can. But I think it bothers me. Well, here I said I wasn't going to do it, but it just bothers me that it's pieces and parts of all musicians and music and singing that has come before us. So it's like, okay, so where's my check in the mail?
Yeah, well, that side, that is a huge deal.
Absolutely. When you think of studio musicians,
huge. They ran into that when rappers started sampling.
Yes.
And it became a big deal, and it's like, well, wait a minute. Well, it only has to be, 4 notes. You have to change the 5th one, whatever, and then it's different. But it was like, that became a huge deal because they were doing it because something happens, the creativity, and you had mentioned about God and being inspired, and I have heard that more than once that a musician said, that just came out of nowhere, right? Well, and then later they'll go, I felt inspired, right? And it's like, okay, well, then what happens to the monetary value of I did that? Where does that go? So I agree with you. If AI starts taking, and they've already had issues with people being, I remember it was Napster, and you could download anything. Well, then people didn't get any money.
Right.
Because they just passed
Napster
it on.
Was the beginning of the internet taking money out of literally songwriters and artists' pocket. That's just a fact. That's not my opinion. That's a fact, and that's exactly part of the problem. And so, but it's the same thing with book writers.
It's all going to get hashed out in court in the next 5 or 6 years.
It'll have to,
right?
All the book publishers are going to court right now against the AI companies. The New York Times is sort of leading a whole group of newspapers. A few of the newspapers have cut deals, and that's their decision. But the New York Times and a number of other major newspapers, they're going to court because it's meta plagiarizing.
Exactly.
To teach itself. Right? So when you and I use it as a tool, we're not doing anything wrong because we're using it as a tool. But to teach itself and learn, these companies have chosen to, on a vast scale, meta plagiarize
Yeah,
creative people of
yeah.
all shapes and forms. That's a lot different than you and I cloning our own voices, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's completely different.
There's so
Absolutely.
many different utilities for it. Fish and I have both cloned our voices with AI just because we talk and do media stuff, and either one of us could lose our voice. Fish has had to look right down the barrel of that before, but it could happen to me too. You know, that's making a personal decision with your own with your own
Right.
creativity and your own body autonomy or whatever. That's
But
a
what
lot.
they did was not getting permission from everybody.
Right, but all these books and magazine articles and newspaper articles, and in the case of music, songs and songwriting that were used to train it, that was all done without permission. And
Exactly.
it was their idea was make billions of dollars and ask for permission after the fact.
And I want to
right?
know what they're going to do with all the humans.
So
Yeah, there was a comedian, and I loved it. He said, I'll get. He said he was like he was talking to a musician and said, "Wow, you had over 4 million hits on one of them, Amazon, whatever," and said, "So what'd you do with the $40?" Right? It's like he had 4 million, he had 4 million hits and 4 million plays, whatever. And it's like, so what do you do with the $4? And I think that's the sad part, is because when you think about it, what's the difference? You've got a football player. So they talk about the high salaries. But if that guy gets hurt, that's the end of him making money at that level. It's the same for a musician. You write a hit song, you make the money off it, right? And there are older stories, that they lived off that. That guy Norman Greenbaum that wrote Spirit in the Sky, he became a goat farmer and he lived off the residuals of that thing. And it's like, but now, where's that money go? And because it's no longer going to the creator, right? The person who did it.
One of our best friends is Andre Pessis. We wrote lots of songs with him, and he is a full-time songwriter, has been his whole life, and he lives in the Bay Area. He wrote a lot with Huey Lewis and Southern Pacific, which were pieces and parts of Doobie Brothers. All kinds of Southern Pacific, all kinds of his income has dropped between 80 and 90% because he's a full-time songwriter.
Yeah.
Full-time songwriter. And you can Google him, Andre Pessis, Pessis.
do you attribute that to just the pay rates of Spotify, or why is it dropped that much? Because people will say that Spotify, the pay rates are so low that you can have a mega hit on there, and you're still getting,
Nothing.
relatively speaking, like
Well, that's
such a-
where the musicians are complaining because the tech industry has taken their money. I think maybe one of the easiest ways to do it is like back in the old days, we used to go buy the album, we used to go buy the CD, we used to buy the cassette, we used to buy the VHS, we used to buy the 8-track tape. Now you rent a song.
Yeah.
That's what I call it.
And the
You
thing
don't
is,
own it, you rent it. And when that company decides they're done and they change companies, then you've got to rent it all over again.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
And we've experienced it here where we store the music, and whether people like it or not, it's like the old reel-to-reel tape. Eventually, the tape drops out.
Oh, I forgot about reel-to-reel tapes.
Well,
Yes,
and
we
they-
have some of those too.
But we've experienced where a song will just disappear out of your library. It's just gone, right? But you paid for it, you download it, and they
No,
always say, well, you can download it again.
Because you rented it.
Yeah,
That's why.
exactly. And so you don't own it. By the way, you're listening to KETQ 93.3 LPFM, Yuba City. I got to get that in. That's a legal
Absolutely.
ID. And so,
Absolutely. I
Listen, we
understand.
need to have you back.
I would love to come back.
I'd love to get you in a podcast
Okay.
with your guitar, you and your guitar. I'll be very kind.
That
and
would be nice because I wouldn't have a harmony singer. And see, to me, that's what makes it.
I
But-
can
but
find you one.
I can.
Get Alex Jones, see if she'll come in with you. That girl's got a voice. Got a set
nice.
of pipes, send you to heaven.
Okay.
And so she's very good. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay.
I interviewed her, and then right in the middle of the interview, she was telling me she had entered a song competition
Mm-hmm.
and ended up singing at House of Blues. And I went,
Nice.
oh, you sing? Because I was right. So I ran in, got my guitar, came back and played House of the Rising Sun, and she nailed it. She
Oh,
just
my
sang the
gosh.
song. So
That's awesome.
That'll be fun. It'll
Okay.
be fun. So we'll have to
Well,
do
you know, in our gospel days, we took the melody of House of the Rising Sun and you put the words of Amazing Grace to it. And it
I've
works.
heard that.
That's what we used to do in the 70s. I don't know where we got that from. We didn't create that, but I can't remember
I've
where we
heard
got
it.
that from.
Yeah.
I
Well,
think it
it's
might have
like-
been a traveling youth group that we ran into and heard sing do it.
Well, you mentioned Leonard Cohen in Hallelujah. I've heard that converted.
Yeah.
And it's a great song, period. It is just a great song, right? And so, Janice, man, you are a delight, my friend.
Oh, thank you so much.
You really are, right?
I'll give you $20.
Hey, John, you and I are both getting $20.
Man.
Scott wants his 20. Come on, Scott, say something complimentary.
I'm going to be out $80 by the time I leave this building. Thank you guys so much for having me. And once again, thank you, Yuba Sutter, for the support. Always. Thank you, thank you.
So we're going to get out of here. We did get the Crush downloaded. So before we get out of here, tell us about that song.
Oh, The Crush. Oh, we when we were looking for songs for the album, James Stroud was looking for songs, and we had publishers sending the songs directly to us. Bug Music sent that one directly to us, and we loved it. And we played it for James Stroud, and he goes, I don't know, I'm not that crazy about it. And we go, okay, so we went ahead and learned it because we loved it, and we were in the studio recording something else, and so there was a break in between, and so there was downtime, and we're still in the vocal booth, and all of a sudden Janie breaks out, and that we just start singing it a cappella, and I'm harmonizing to it. All of a sudden James goes, hey, where'd that song come from? And Janie goes, oh, no, you already passed on it. You already passed on it. And we all start laughing. The musicians are laughing, and James going, okay, all right. So he goes, we're going to put that on the album. And that's just from him hearing us do the first verse and the second verse. And then when we did a video, one of the times, and this is the sad part of it, we got called into the record company. Dick Whitehouse was the president, and he goes, we blew it. And I go, oh, what did we do? He goes, no, you guys didn't do anything wrong. We blew it as a record company. We had a hit on our hands, and we pulled support in order to help Hal Ketchum's song get up in the top 10. And we just sat there and our mouths dropped. So we had a hit on. The Crush should have been a hit. But, so that was an admission by the record company. And so anyway, I hope you enjoy it. I think John Hyatt wrote the song. It's one of the best songs. John Hyatt is an incredible songwriter. And we got word that he heard our version of it, and he called his publishing company and said, thank you for pitching that to them, because that's the best version I've heard of one of my songs written in a long, long time. So it was great. So I hope you enjoy it, and it's still... I still like the song myself.
So this is going to be good. Anyway, I want to
thank you.
I want to thank Scott Anderson, the editor of the Appeal Democrat, because he's busy. He's like, this guy is busy, and getting him to come on, because this is Rough Notes and Casual Thoughts, which every Saturday
we
is
have
in the Appeal
newspaper.
Democrat.
Yeah.
And I want to bring this up, okay? This is Fish's confession. When I came to the town 30 years ago, I subscribed to the Appeal. And, I read it and kind of, I just kind of, you know what I mean? I just didn't connect, right? And so Chuck harasses me all the time because he said, Fish, you don't subscribe? And I said, why? And I said, well, you can do it online. And that's what I wanted to bring up, because you guys have an online version.
We have an online version.
How do they get to that one?
You call our circulation, and they will give you, and you'll work it out with them. And there's deals where you can get both the physical and the online and the e-version. There's a couple different options. Our online product is exploding right now, as we were talking before. We had in July we had almost 300,000 views.
Come on, let's make it 300,000 in August.
Yes. We just need a few more people to tune in August, and we'll hit 300,000 views in a month.
I'm gonna do it.
So,
gosh.
Well, if Fish does it, you'll have 301,000.
So, but I do have to attribute so much of that to the team that I hired 5 months ago. They've been working their butts off, and they're out in the community, and they're doing, they're really embedded in Yuba Sutter and Colusa, trying to cover the community the best they can.
It's a lot.
Yeah, and
It's a big area.
Yeah,
you guys
so-
are like the sheriff's department.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They got. I don't know how those guys cover the ground. They were telling me how many miles. Yeah, it's like.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
All right.
great.
And Janice White, we're gonna have you back. I will talk to you offline, and
Okay.
we'll hook up and
I would
get
love
you in
to.
the podcast room there. And but we're gonna get out of here with. Janice's song with her sister. This was you two, right?
Yep, J.J. White.
J.J. White, and this would have been a hit had it not been for some people that just didn't get it.
But we will.
But they
we
admitted
will,
their mistake.
We will not forget this, Fish and I, and
No.
there's still time to get even with Hal Ketchum.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
So-
we start talking
He's
smack about
officially
how.
on the Yuba Sutter enemies list.
We opened him at the Roxy one time. And that was a pretty cool thing.
Okay, we'll take him
Played
off
at the
the.
Roxy.
We'll take him
Yeah,
off the enemies
so
list.
take him off the enemies list.
Oh my gosh! All
He was,
right,
on,
well,
he was on the same label as us, so
Yeah.
we couldn't be enemies.
well, thanks for watching. And on behalf of John Cassidy, who has got a meal named after him in darn near every restaurant, and we want to appreciate John because John Associates sponsors this program, and we want to thank the Brick Coffee House and Cafe down on not 4th Street, on D Street, for their support for this. And we just appreciate the people of Yuba Sutter. And we're going to get out of here listening to The Crush.